So sometimes when you're working with really chunky, great yarns, although your project is super easy, the finishing can be difficult because weaving in ends can be a little troublesome. So I have a couple of great tips that will make things a little bit easier on you. So no matter what, you obviously want a really large-eyed tapestry needle. And I also like the ones with the bent tip. I just find that it makes the whole job a little bit easier. So you're going to thread your needle as you always would. But if you're working on a piece like this swatch that I have here or my big shawl over here, some of the problem is that you've got these big open spaces, so there's not a lot of place to kind of hide those ends. So what I always do is I kind of work in the posts and weave down just to get started. So from here, I would probably just go wherever there's density instead of holes, right? So where the rows meet, there's going to be some density. You're just going to weave in. And then what I might do, just to kind of just really secure it, is I might go down again, down one of those posts, just weaving in and out. So you would continue that as you always would, weaving in until you felt great about it. Then you're going to give it a little bit of a tug. But the challenge is here, right here, is that sometimes because there are so many holes, later, especially if it's a garment that's going to get a lot of wear and tear and twist and turn, this could potentially come out and then your hard work becomes unraveled. So if you just get some simple sewing thread and a sewing needle in the same color as close as possible as the yarn you're working on, just as a little safety, you find that end, you get it settled where it is, and I see that that's right there, and you just take a little tiny stitch. Nobody else will ever see it. But essentially what you're doing is you're tacking down that edge so that you don't have to worry about it anymore. Just snip it and bury it in. And then you don't have to worry at all, any wear and tear. Super easy solution. Another issue that can happen with big yarns is if the opposite of what I just showed you with open holes and crochet, if you're working with a piece that's, maybe got a little texture, but mostly is filled in and is flat, sometimes when you weave in the ends, the yarn is so bulky that it leaves bumps. And so you've got sort of like a misshapen piece, and that's not cool, right? So you're going to take another needle, and you can use the same one like I did before, but I also really love these ones by Knitter's Pride, KnitPro, if you are not in North America, because they have these big loops. It's like a big sort of plastic loop, and it accommodates most size yarns. So what I would do is, instead of taking this whole strand, and this only works if you have a plied yarn, it won't work if you're working with a single ply or a roving yarn, is I would unply the yarn as much as you can, and then just take half of the ply, loop it in. We'll pull this to the side, and then from here, I would just weave in as normal, as you normally would with any other yarn or any other project. So I would bury it. You would keep going until, I wouldn't just do what I just did. I would keep going back and forth, right? And then I'd go back with the other one, and I would do that exact same thing, but just in a different area. That way, when you flip it over, it's still the integrity of the fabric isn't going to change. Super easy, small tips that with your big yarn can be big issues, you've made easy and simple.